Hi there, Serial Trader here. I got a request to look at Sierra Wireless, SWIR, and just starting with the monthly chart going back as far as we can see here around the year 2000. Looks like basically a sideways kind of range-bound stock. So my first idea would be, well, okay, if you want to play this, then think of it as just a range play. And with that in mind, not necessarily looking for some huge trending move up to new all-time highs. That wouldn't be what my first inclination would be as far as expectations for this stock. But now that we've established that longer setup, let's look at, I guess the weekly chart's probably good. So off of this low, let's just focus in on where we are here. So off of the low we did in March 2020, I have trouble getting a clean impulse wave out of this, okay? But this is obviously some sort of, we might even call it a corrective wave up if we're just in a range, right? I don't know, maybe like a WXY. Don't have a strong opinion about it really. But I want to focus in on this section, this more sideways section we've been in that we're threatening to break out of, okay? Now, so far, you can make a pretty decent case, at least from a wave pattern perspective, that we're completed a contracting triangle, okay? So A, B, C, D, E, contracting triangle, meets all the criteria, has the right look, nice and sideways. Every high is a lower high, every low is a higher low, and then we get to this point and then have the breakout. Now that looks promising that it's already started here. So if the E-wave low is here at 1497, we're already up to almost 21 and threatening to break out of the range. So that's looking promising from that perspective. Here we have the contracting triangle trend lines, the BD trend line, and then the AC trend line. I'm not going to draw them all the way out to the apex, but you get the idea. So, some measurements for some upside targets here. Let me just adjust this so we can view our upside nicely. Okay, so we have the reverse fib, basically just an extension of the largest part of the range of the triangle. And then we have some typical objectives. We have the 1.32 and the 2. Let me just get rid of the rest of this. Okay. So the 1.32, which is usually pretty achievable. It's usually a more conservative projection, gets us to 2570, so almost 26. And the 2 would get us to 3134, okay? So that's one measurement of that. Now let me actually just get this to snap. We're going to extend the left line because this is how we're going to do a triangle thrust measurement, assuming that we have a triangle that we're working with, which currently I think that's a good assumption. So let me just make sure we're bang on here. You'll see what I'm getting at here in a moment. It's a technique for measuring the potential upside of a triangle. Okay. So what we want to do is take the range here. Basically, you extend these triangle trend lines to the left instead of to the right, and then we go to where the triangle began, which is this price bar right here, and then we just take the distance. So work with me here. We take the distance like this between these two trend lines, okay, just like this, and let me get rid of the extension on that. Okay, so we got that. And then we drag this over to where the E wave ended, okay? And that gives us the triangle thrust measurement, which is a little lower actually, and comes in at 23.91, almost 24, but still not a terrible move up from near current levels. So just to give you a bit of an idea of some upside targets. Let's see here. Now obviously this is completely your point where this is all wrong and something else is going on is, of course, we take out the E-wave low, which is at 1497. But that doesn't look likely, and if we go on the daily, maybe even go on an hourly or something, let's see how we're looking off that low. This looks fairly impulsive. Okay, maybe we did a little initial impulse wave up, so like a 1, 2, 3, however you want to cut it, 4, 5, and now we're correcting that on a shorter term basis. Maybe doing a little ABC down sequence or something. You get the idea. But so far it looks fairly constructive even on the short term wave pattern. Okay, so all of that in under consideration. Now if we actually just zoom out a bit, okay, so we have these triangle objectives that look decent. Now how does that line up with some prior resistance levels? Okay, well we have the prior resistance level of 2258 on the weekly chart, so that's another point we could get to, and might have a little reaction there, but could get through it. Then we have some resistance areas here around 2360, and then of course if we're going to make the more exuberant triangle target up here, you know, plus 31, we have prior resistance, you know, between 31 and 32, let's say here from 2017. So I would say, you know, I wouldn't be looking for like incredible upside like a multi-bagger, but this thing could go up, I don't know, depending where we land, 20, 30, 50% from current levels, just to meet some reasonable triangle upside targets. So hopefully that's helpful. And yeah, definitely if we lose this low, if we lose that, let's call it 15, but it's 14.97, then this is completely out the window and something else is going on. So, but it looks decent so far. All right, Serial Trader signing off.